buddy? Good, man.
Okay, good start to the week. Just focused right now on UNLV. Obvious questions that I'm sure you're curious about would be Eddie Vanderdoes. Very unfortunate for Eddie. He did it on a pass rush. Contrary to what people may believe, he did not do it when he hoisted Kenny into the air. It buckled again, which confirmed what we were a little bit worried about, and that's that he did tear his ACL. But he did it on a pass rush. He tried to avoid the quarterback. When he came down, his knee was locked out. He felt a pop. He went to the sidelines. They examined him. As often is the case, his muscles had contracted, so he was pretty stable. They let him go back in the game, and he could tell, pretty quickly that he wasn't feeling great. So we're gonna have to replace him. He'll get surgery within the next couple of weeks. But in terms of replacing him, I mean, it's part of the game. It's a part that you don't like. You hate to see a young man who's worked so hard lose an entire year, but it does happen. And without sounding insensitive to Eddie, our job is to push on. And we have depth on this football team, and we have young men that are eager to get in and play. And we have a team that has a lot of pride in the way they perform and prepare. And so while we'll miss him, we'll just we'll soldier on, and that's what you have to do. And if you do anything other than that, if you keep looking back and you play the woe is me card, and well, we don't have this guy, and you make excuses, and you just do yourself a disservice. So we're not going to do that. And with regards to Ish, he still is suspended. It's still indefinite. We're still gathering facts, so I have nothing else to report on that at this time. But we're excited about another opportunity to go out this week and improve. We played okay on Saturday. When you look at the film, you always see a lot of things that you can improve on, and so our goal every week is to go out and play better than we did the week before, play closer to our potential, play closer to our standards. So that's what we'll try to do Saturday night against UNLV.
What's the status on Nate Starks?
Nate Starks is good to go. He'll be up and rolling on Saturday night. Look to get him some carries. He's a good football player, and I'm anxious to see him run.
You've recruited a bunch of Bishop Gorman players the last few years. What are your impressions of Tony Sanchez and how he runs a program?
I've gotten to go watch Tony coach at a couple times, and he does an outstanding job. He runs a real professional environment there, big-time program at Bishop Gorman. I read some news reports on his first game at UNLV, and they were just glowing in terms of having the team prepared and handling things on the sidelines. It doesn't surprise me at all that would be the case. He's a really good football coach. I think sometimes we mischaracterize football coaches because of the level that they're at, whether they're high school, college, or pro. Good football coaches are good football coaches, and Tony's a good football coach.
Josh getting the 2 awards, are you worried that it's just happening way too fast and he could be,
No, I mean, we don't even address that stuff. I haven't heard one player, one coach even mention the awards. We don't really celebrate individual achievements around here.
Sure.
We talk about team achievements, and Josh has shown real good humility so far this week, and I think he realizes that that's one game, and one game does not make a career. So he's like everybody else. He's got a lot of work to do, and he's intent on doing it.
You said there were some things on film that you thought needed to improve. Could you maybe talk a little bit about that?
Well, I mean, there's it's funny as a coach, it's crazy. Sometimes I think you need to learn to enjoy wins more than you do. I don't know if we're the ultimate pessimists or optimists or what we are, but it seems like no matter what, we're going back and trying to find out, how we can do it a little bit better, which probably is, well, I know it's a good thing, but everything from just our tempo on offense to our tackling on defense to, eliminating penalties to our substitution patterns to being exacting in our alignments and our routes and being exacting in our run fits and in our leverage and coverage. I mean, really, Tracy, it's like, it's everything. Even the most perfect play, when you break it down, there's things that just weren't as exact as you'd like, and we're never going to be perfect. I mean, trying to be perfect in a competitive game with 11 guys on the inside is really hard, but we want to try to reach our potential every play. So that's what we're after.
Coach, in the first game, it didn't look like you blitzed too much.
We didn't what now?
You didn't rush more than 4 too often. How much of that was predicated on Virginia throwing a lot of screen passes? That's kind of their style. And how much of that was what we're expecting to see the rest of the year?
It's every game plan's different. We have a large volume of pressures in our playbook that we can use. But against a team like Virginia that was multiple tight ends, and as you noticed, almost every single play they jumped, they would shift or reset. Their run scheme, their protection scheme was not a lot of 5 out, you know, some 7-man slide stuff. You can blitz into that, and it's just like running into a wall, or you can get yourself in trouble. We were effective pressuring the quarterback. You know, we dropped back 35 times. We intercepted him once. We sacked him once. We hit him 11 times. We tipped 3 balls, I think, or 2, and we broke up 5 passes. So those are kind of the things that you look at. I don't think he ever felt real comfortable back there. But there'll be games where we heat it up. You know, so it just depends on really scheme that we're facing, personnel matchups, things like that. But I don't know. Just tune in, 7:35, CBS.
Do you have an update on Craig Lee?
That was a great try. Are you a Tony Sanchez fan?
You have an update on Craig Lee?
Craig is still awaiting his final grade to come in. Hopefully, within the next 7 days, we know something. And hopefully it's good news so that he can continue to play. He's been out here, as you guys know, since we got back from San Bernardino, really practicing hard, working with the scout team, giving a great look, with a great attitude. You know, I mean, the young man has really worked incredibly hard on the field, which you guys see, but off the field academically to get himself where he can participate. And, you know, I want to see him eligible in the worst way, just for him. You know, for him, and then for us, but mostly for him.
With the heat in Las Vegas, how important is playable depth for you facing UNLV?
I think it's important. I think a couple things are working in our factor, or working in our favor, or at least aren't going to be detriments. I shouldn't say working in our favor because I don't mean that they work against our opponent, but some things that we have going for us is this: number one, going to San Bernardino, and so being accustomed to that dry heat. I think number two, coming out here on this field where it's warm. I mean, it's warm today. Now it's not 106 degrees, but it's warm, and we're in the heat of the day. And then number three, having the depth. You know, I think that'll help us. We're able to rotate guys through on defense and a receiver and running back on almost every play if we need to. Offensive line, it's hard to rotate guys through because you want that cohesiveness and that consistency. But we've got a lot of guys that can play, and we're not afraid to play them. And that was one of the good things about getting a little bit of a lead on Saturdays, is being able to get some guys in there and let them play some snaps. You know, I know there's people who love to see us run up the score. You know what? I'd rather get guys in and get them play time so that they're ready to go when we really need them.
How did Matt Dickerson look on tape to you?
He looked good. Yeah, he's definitely improved since last year. He's more physical. He understands the speed of the game. He's more technically sound. He puts some pressure on the quarterback. He's more stout against the run. You can tell that he's a guy that's figuring it out, and I think that he'll end up having a really good year for us. And obviously with Eddie not being in there, you know, you'll see him in the game more.
Since your time here, how would you rate that pass protection that you had against Virginia?
I thought it was good. I thought there was, you know, we didn't give up any sacks. I know the stats initially they had one, but that's been erased because that was a no-gain play, so it wasn't a sack. We got beat inside a couple times. I thought our backs did a really good job of picking up the blitzing linebacker. You saw Paul Perkins a couple times step up and do a really nice job in the hole. You know, I think it just remains to be seen, you know, if we can be consistent there. I feel like we can be. I feel like it's a solid group and they've got confidence. And they understand what they're doing, which is really important. They've got a guy behind center that understands protections as well. And I think anytime you've got a quarterback that, and this is not in any way a dig against a guy like Brett, who was so mobile and can move and makes so many great plays on his, you know, out of the pocket, because without that, we'd have never won the games that we won. But for an offensive lineman, at times, it's easier to have a guy that stays in the pocket because you know where he's going to be and you can block more effectively for that guy. So I think all those things kind of factor in.
Keeping everybody
guys.
on an even keel. You said it's only one game, but obviously the players, everybody was excited after that one game. How do you keep it for them?
Well, a couple things. Number one, you want to enjoy all your victories. I mean, they're hard to come by. You know, it's hard to realize how hard it is just to win one game. So you want to enjoy the victory. We have, you know, like a lot of teams, it's a 24-hour rule. You know, whether you win or you lose, you take those 24 hours, you either enjoy it or you sulk around a little bit. But then after that, you put it behind you and you learn the lessons you need to learn from watching the film. You apply them going forward, and then you get off of that one and you get right on to the next one. And I think our guys understand how to do that at this point in their careers here.
Thanks,
All right,
guys.
thanks, everyone.